Alright, so one of wisdom from the Rebbe for today. So at the end of this week's parsha, after the giving of the Torah, Hashem tells the Jewish people that you guys have seen that I have spoken to you from the heaven, and therefore you should not make anything with me, any gods of silver or gold or anything else like that. Now this is not just another command not to serve idols, as I was already said before, but rather this is coming a pasuk, which is a new command to tell you what the exact idea and the general accomplishment of Matan Torah really was. As by the giving of the Torah there were two things that were accomplished. One thing is that God gave the Torah to the Jewish people, and that was done through the fact that God said the 10 commandments. When he said the 10 commandments, he was giving us the Torah and Mitzvos, and now we were required to do them. But then there was a second accomplishment, which is a general nullification which happened in the world, as during the giving of the Torah there was thunder and lightning, and there was a general revelation of godliness in the world, which caused the entire world to be totally nullified to God. Now seemingly there's two separate accomplishments. There's the idea of being totally nullified, then there's the idea of the Torah and Mitzvos. And that's what this pasuk is coming to teach you. Now, these are not two separate things, but rather what was the whole point of the revelations? What was the point of all that? Was to tell you that there should be nothing else with me. That you should see the whole time that the only real existence is godliness. How is that so? How is that seen through the Torah and Mitzvos? Because in general there are two types of nullifications. One is that a person wants to give himself over. I'm going to make myself totally nullified. A servant decides I want to give myself over to someone else. So that's a way which is totally nullified, like a chariot, which is nullified, like our forefathers were nullified, but it still is coming from them. And therefore it's not a real nullification because you are the one who's making yourself be nothing. Second idea is the fact there's a nullification which comes from above. If someone else says you are mine, you don't have your own existence at all. And that's a much deeper and much more real way of being nullified. And that's what the accomplishment of the giving of the Torah was. Until then, it was just what they accomplished, what a Jewish person can nullify himself. But here God gave us the Torah and Mitzvos. And that, through the Torah and Mitzvos, when we do those things, we are totally nullifying ourselves, not that we are making ourselves nullified, but rather that godliness is nullifying us, that God's Torah is being spoken through our mouths. And that's the advantage of Torah versus Mitzvos. As Mitzvos is the idea of being totally nullified, but Torah comes to say that you're speaking God's words, and you're not in existence for yourself whatsoever, you're just expressing His idea. And that's a real accomplishment of the giving of the Torah. L'chaim, l'chaim.